the Dallas Cowboys have yet to make a big financial investment in running back Ezekiel Elliott. We feel like that is coming. Another thing that we may need to pay attention to that could be coming, some sort of league action. We've talked about this a few times, arising from the video of Ezekiel Elliott confronting a 19-year-old security guard at a music festival in Las Vegas. Pushed up against him. The guy fell down. The guy claims he was shoved. The video is inconclusive as to whether or not there was a shove. But either way, it was an aggressive posture by Ezekiel Elliott that caused the guy to back up and eventually fall. The Dallas Morning News reported on Wednesday that the NFL immediately sought information from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department as soon as the video surfaced. So, look, people say, oh, it's no big deal. The Cowboys, oh, we're not worried. Oh, it's nothing. Oh, he didn't do anything. Because Elliott's already been suspended for violating the personal conduct policy, he's inherently on thin ice. Remember, we made a lot about the letter that was sent to Elliott back in 2017. Further behavior of this nature could result in banishment from the league. So they are watching, they are reviewing, they are studying, and if they come to the conclusion that there was even a slight violation of the personal conduct policy, Chris, his history is going to set him up for more punishment, and people are going to be surprised if it happens, but I'm here to say do not rule it out because the league is clearly on the case, and we'll see what they decide. But if they decide there was a violation, we may not be very happy with the end result.
Well, Ezekiel is, like you're saying, he's on their radar. So, yeah, I mean, I said this last week or 2 weeks ago when they brought it up. I don't think this is a suspendable offense. I mean, yes, it's not the greatest look. I could see them maybe fining him if they want to take away a game check, maybe something like that. Okay, with the way the NFL operates and things, I could see them doing that. But I really would be shocked if it ended up in losing him for a game or two just because he aggressively stepped into a 19-year-old. And again, I'm not condoning what Ezekiel Elliott did and all that too. But, I guess, Mike, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm just throwing this off of you. I mean, have we heard anything from the league about are they looking up Richie Incognito and the things he did in the offseason and the issues he's had? I just feel
no. Incognito, okay. I think Incognito will be suspended. He's got 2 guilty pleas from 2 separate incidents that happened last August. So he will, I think, before the start of the regular season, he will be suspended for 1 or more games. So, yes, that's that one isn't as close of a question. I think the issue with Elliott is we see the video and we think, well, like you say, well, that's really not a suspendable offense. But when you factor in his history, it becomes a suspendable offense. The problem is there are still plenty of people who look at what was done in 2017 and think that wasn't a suspendable offense.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. It's on his record, right?
Yes,
it's like the black mark on your record. I'm sure you have a few of those from an academic standpoint from your time in school. But
no doubt.
But I digress. But that's so it's already there. It's not going away. So the fact that it's there makes this incident more problematic from the league's perspective. That's why I added it to today's list of topics for PFTOT, because people need to be ready for what could happen. We know what to expect from Richie Incognito. We know that Tyreek Hill at some point is likely going to find himself suspended. With Ezekiel Elliott, if it happens, there's going to be some Cowboys fans who are pissed. There are going to be fantasy football owners who are pissed. There's going to be others who are just flat out confused because they see that video and they react the way you did. I don't see anything there you would suspend a guy for.
Right. And I hope that the NFL can take into account that I think their last suspension, I'll be one of those guys that would say that I think was a little too harsh for Ezekiel Elliott. I think there was some, holes in what the NFL did as far as obtaining some information without getting into all the details and everything like that. I'm not going to sit here and say that I definitely thought that warranted a 6-game suspension that year. So maybe they can take that into account. I don't know. To me, it just sometimes, Mike, I look at it and I see like the NFL pursues some people's things more aggressively than others, and I don't understand that at times. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not wrong. I didn't know we were about to talk about this, so I'm kind of going off the top of my head here. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like some players, they aggressively go, we want to get the information, and then other ones, it's just like, we're going to kind of wait back and see before we actually try to get the information on that one.
I think for some players, and I'm not talking specifically about Elliott here, for some players, they develop a belief as to who he is and what he is, and what they conclude may be different from what the public image is. So in their mind, it's justified to be aggressive because for everything they get him for, there's 5 other things he's getting away with. And again, I'm not saying that that's Elliott, but it could be they have flagged him that way, that this is a guy who, maybe he parties too much. Maybe he's involved in too many things that are close to the line. Maybe he doesn't really comport himself the way we would like, and this is our way to try to engineer his behavior. When he does cross the line, we're going to get him, so maybe he will stay away from the line altogether instead of dancing on it. Again, I don't know that that's how they feel about Elliott, and if they do, I don't believe it's justified. My point is,
yeah, it's a good theory, though.
I think there's a lot of justification for how aggressively, and look, prosecutors do the same thing. They're going to be more inclined to go after somebody for a relatively meaningless offense if they believe this is a bad person who gets away with a lot of stuff. Again, I'm not saying that that's Elliott, but that would explain the motivation.
Yeah.
That for whatever reason, they believe that Elliott did the things that he was suspended for, even if he didn't get a fair chance to prove that he didn't. And maybe they're still frustrated with Elliott for fighting it as hard as he did because it made them look like a Keystone Cop organization presided over by a kangaroo court. So they may have some lingering animosity about that as well.
Yeah, that was a lot of good stuff there. That's why you're a lawyer. That's why you're Mike Florio. I agree.
Not anymore. I'm not a lawyer anymore, baby.
Well,
10 years. As of, the anniversary's coming up. July 1 will be 10 years since we officially joined NBC. 10 years.
That's awesome, man. That's cool to hear. I mean, yeah, you've done a good job, man. I think you made the right career choice. I bet you weren't a very good lawyer. You're pretty good at Pro Football Talk.
Asshole. Oops.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.